Welcome to Planting Seeds with the Partnership. This is your host, Kayla Godby, and I am here with another one of our phenomenal, my coworker. She's pretty awesome, and she's helped show me the ropes when I was coming to the partnership, and it is Miss Jameka Wells. How are you?
Hi, Kayla. How are you? I'm
I'm
great
awesome.
today.
I'm awesome. Super glad to be talking to you about our NC PreK program, and just exploring more of what that is for our listeners, our new parents, new people that may be new to pre-K in general. I just kind of want them to hone in, listen in, and kind of understand like what our role is in pre-K at Durham's Partnership for Children. And you've
Awesome.
been at the partnership for how long?
16 years.
16 years. That is crazy.
Yes, ma'am. I've seen a lot in my day with the in my tenure, and I'm very excited to be here to talk about pre-K, and especially for our families who are new to this, to pre-K and all things early education. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. So I always start with some sort of icebreaker to ask, what got you into this work of working in early childhood education? What inspired you initially? Uh-oh.
That's a funny story. So initially, what got me to the partnership was that I am bilingual. I speak Spanish,
Awesome.
and they were looking for a bilingual assistant for the pre-K program. And I got there, and I won't pretend. Initially, I was like, I'm not so sure about this. But then I'd say like a month or two in, I was like, okay, I kind of like this. I kind of like this a lot, and made it my thing to start learning more about early care and education. I have a social services background, but in terms of early care and education, I didn't delve that deeply into it until I got to the partnership. But I gotta say, the under five set is where it's at.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And it's funny because even though my track is more so with the marketing and the websites, social media, I really, really enjoy doing that at the partnership, which I can't say for any of my previous jobs that I've like thoroughly enjoyed how we work together. So I'm
Nice.
kind of with you on that. I came in with one laser focus, but now I'm growing interest in other areas within the partnership. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very easy for that to happen. Under five is where it's at for sure.
Yes.
Um, so since you've been here, like, how has your role changed over the years? I know you said you initially were helping with translating and communicating with families, but has your position changed drastically, or are you anything different now than what you were when you started?
Oh, absolutely. It has evolved. Before it was mainly administrative with a little bit of communication with the outside world. And
Mm-hmm.
now I create and implement program opportunities through the pre-K program. I am able to provide technical assistance to childcare sites to help support them in
Mm-hmm.
get becoming even more high quality than they already are. I get to educate families on the different options and how to navigate early care and education, which is, I got to say, that's probably my favorite part of my whole, well, second favorite. Educating families is my second favorite. My first favorite is hanging out, meeting the pre-K babies that I work with.
Oh,
They are super awesome. 4 year olds are super cool kiddos. And so I enjoy that the most.
that's so awesome. Babies in general are just, they're just the sweetest. They are. They are. It's once
Yes.
they get past a certain age, they get a little rotten, But until then, they are so
Right.
sweet. And So what I want to kind of delve into with NC PreK and Durham PreK is, what should parents know about enrollment season, who's eligible, all the questions that we tend to think of and ask and second guess. Sometimes we don't apply for things because we don't think that they apply to us. So
Right.
what should a parent know about eligibility for NC PreK?
Well, first and foremost, as long as you live in Durham County, and you have a child who will be 4 years old by August 31st of 2021, you can apply.
Awesome.
And you definitely want to go ahead and apply now. We've been in open enrollment for the fall since February 15th. And we will continue to do a rolling application through the school year. But of course, the earlier the better. That will allow for families to get the full experience of, the school year for the entire year.
One thing that I do want to highlight that just recently passed is the pre-K and the outreach team just did a roll up and enroll event. And so the partnership is always having these events where we're encouraging enrollment, especially because it is something that's available, like you said, to any parent with a child that'll be at least 4, by August 31st. So how was that event? Did you enjoy yourself? Why should families come to those types of events?
It was a blast. We were out there with music and a food truck and bubbles for the kids and coloring and playing. And also, we had plenty of staff who were able to assist families. So we had some families who came who had started their application, but they were like, I kind of wanted some help to finish it because I had some questions. And so we were able to help those families. We had some people who wanted to turn in their documents after they've completed the application, but they were, I'm not exactly sure if I'm doing this right with turning in my documents the way I'm supposed to or the way that they're asking me to. So we were able to support them on that. And we had some families who also wanted to start a new application, brand new. And they came prepared and wanted to do, and we were able to assist with that. We worked in collaboration with Durham Early Head Start, also a partnership program, and we were able to actually connect families between the two programs, which is something that just absolutely gets me jazzed up when I am able to work with a family for their 4-year-old and then, provide resources for a younger child that they may have, or vice versa, where they are come for the younger child, but then I'm like, hey, I can help you out with your 4-year-old.
Right.
Let's talk.
That's awesome. And I think that helps us understand too that, the partnership and even the programs we have within it are not just one-dimensional. So we just talked about Early Head Start in a few previous episodes. And, our families don't just have, one child. Some of them have many children that have gone through the Early Head Start and then transitioned to NC PreK. So I love when, we're talking to each person from each prospective program, that we understand that it transitions and we're here for you at every step of the way between 0 and 5 years old. So it's a pretty cool, cohesive program, and I'm just hopefully these podcast episodes are getting people excited about the opportunities that we have and also the events that we do. Like we're a pretty lit bunch, I would think.
We're a lot of fun, for sure.
Have a lot of fun with families and children in mind. So I really enjoy that aspect of work, and I feel like you bring that energy every time we're involved in any type of partnership or deal. If Jameka's there, then it's gonna be a pretty fun time. So as a new parent, what should I know about the NC PreK program once enrolled? Like once I've gotten all of my paperwork in and I know you need your, to apply, you need birth certificate, proof of income, and proof of address. Correct?
Yep, okay. That is correct. So once you submit your application and you get your email that says, congratulations, you are in. Then the next step is going to be that the childcare site that or public school or Head Start location that you have been assigned to is going to contact you. You're going to get a play date. You're going to have open house. You're going to get to meet your child's teachers and the principal or director well in advance. You're going to have an opportunity to really see the classroom. When the child starts school, oh my gosh, it's going to be fun. One of the biggest things I like to ensure that families understand is that for a 4-year-old, they are learning through play. It is intentional play, and it's child-centered. So the child directs their interests and they are learning through play like that. So if Kennedy says to me, Miss Jameka, I really, really like puppies. Then, we're going to talk about puppies that day. And we're going to, I might not be able to actually bring a live puppy in the classroom, but I certainly can find some Clifford the Big Red Puppy books to read. And we can talk about that and different things like that. And just, go from there. I can bring in magazines of puppies and all kinds of stuff, and we can bridge it out to different subjects: science, math, art, different every way aspect you could think of. And so and the children have fun learning it because it's something that they are interested in.
I love that approach, because a lot of times we think that we have to go in telling people what they need to know, but if we just kind of sit back and figure out what your interests are, we can still teach you the same things. It's just through what you will stay attentive to. So that's really, really awesome.
Right.
That approach is taken. And one question that I'm very interested in, just in your professional opinion, with you working with a partnership for 16 years and just being in this realm of early childhood education, what have you seen that the NC PreK program or the Durham PreK program needs most?
More money, more funding. It would be wonderful if we could provide transportation for our families. We have a few programs that offer transportation. However, it's fee-based, and there are a few steps that parents have to take in order to even be able to, put their child on the bus for school for transportation.
Right.
And it would just be so awesome if we could just eliminate those extra steps that the parent would have to take. There are already a lot of them. This is them and their child's first experience with school.
Right.
And so, it's already hard enough to knowing that you're kind of adjusting to trusting someone else with your child for 6.5 hours in a day, but then to have that additional piece of, let me figure out how I'm gonna make sure my child gets to and from school every day. That piece in and of itself, if we could eliminate that I think that would make things so much better. So much better.
I agree. I think that's been the number one answer every time I ask that question. Like, if you didn't have to worry about anything else and you felt like you wanted to add a portion to where you work at, what would it be? And it's always funding, especially in education. And it's true, it's either teachers are underpaid, or the resources that help support the instruction in the classroom are not enough due to funding. So I think that's something we should, collectively, even if legislatively it's not getting done, how can we as a community, take more initiative into that? So it's very interesting that you say that.
Yeah.
So my last question for you, unless we get derailed and we just have more conversation, because that's also fun, is what is your favorite part of doing your job?
Visiting the sites. Visiting the sites, going into classrooms, sitting down in circle time with the students,
Oh.
having the conversations. 4-year-olds are very direct,
Mhm.
and they are like little walking truth bodies, and so they will just say it, and they're so logical that oftentimes I've had conversations with the children in my classrooms, and I'll sit here thinking like, now why didn't I think of that? And I am a full grown adult who has gone through college and everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that part is just it brings me so much joy. It brings me so much joy to just get to interact with children from all different walks of life. And, you know, they've all been through various experiences and things like that. But all the same, they're young people who are just happy to make a new friend.
Mhm.
And so that is my absolute top favorite thing to do in my job.
I love that. I love that. I think that brings a new perspective to speaking to your inner child. I think once we get in college and into life, and we're not logical anymore, and we overthink everything, and
Yeah,
kids are just innocent in that way where they don't think about everything. They just, they just are. They are who they are.
exactly. And they're a lot of fun.
Mhm.
They're a lot of fun. And so, I probably could talk for another 30 minutes about some of the things that I have experienced with the young people and things when I go to different classrooms. And so
Mhm.
that part, it just, again, it really does make you really remember, like, oh, you know the times can are were simpler at one point, and it's nice to be in that bubble for a little bit.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay, I promise this is my real last question, and then I will be out of here because I almost forgot. But I tend to ask this question for every program, but I just want to reiterate that there has been a massive change in how we do things due to COVID.
Hmm.
So what would you say the biggest impact that COVID had on the Durham Pre-K NC Pre-K program?
um well, many of our sites had to, due to space limits and social distancing, they had to reduce the number of children that could be in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So we offered a hybrid option for our children this school year that we're about to finish on June 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And for those children who were virtual, that part was tough. It was really tough being able to bridge the classroom experience to over the virtually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That probably was one of the tougher things, I'd say, that I experienced, or at least I observed. And then also, I mean, it because of the fact that with the restrictions from the state, sites weren't allowed to have all adults other than the staff
And
in the building.
mhm.
So parents couldn't come and volunteer in the classroom. Parents couldn't even walk their child to their teacher, things like that.
Right.
If the teacher is walking the children out for pickup time, it's like a turnstile. So
Mhm.
they really didn't have an opportunity to sit down and really, really talk for a few minutes about how the day went,
Right.
because typically several parents will show up at the same time to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was tough. That was tough, but I highly look forward to this upcoming 21-22 school year, because we will be back in person
Mm-hmm.
100%. And as of right now, everything will be back to normal. And I feel like that is going to make a huge difference in the way things go for this upcoming school year.
Right. I agree. And though, that is a crucial thought. I think we took a lot of things for granted before COVID hit, but those times where you can go talk to the teacher about how your child's day went and just go inside and assess the classroom and see what things look like. Really, parents have been forced to just trust the process if they're going to take their kids in. And, it isn't normal for kids to go from interacting with children that they play with every day to now I have to be at home because we all can't be in the classroom at the same time. So I'm glad that they'll start returning back to normal. And I know it's just different. It's just very different. And I think it's an eye opener for sure. I don't think things will ever be the same, but hopefully we'll be better because of it. Have better processes.
Right. That is exactly what I'm hoping for. I mean, there's a few things that the pandemic has caused that I feel like, I think should be continued on beyond, that social distancing thing. Other than little ones, I love that. For adults, please feel free to social distance, okay?
Exactly. I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to just chat with us, give us some good nuggets about NC PreK, and what we should be looking forward to as far as the program and what that looks like for someone who may not know. Do you have any last words or anything you want to leave us with?
Feel free to give us a yell if you're interested and you have questions or anything like that with regard to children under 5 years old. Give us a call. We can definitely help you out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to Planting Seeds with a Partnership. Please visit our website at www.dpfc.net and follow us on all social media sites.